Namaste. Guru Bhyo Namaha. With the blessings of my Guru, I present the Vedic views on the subject silence. So now I am going to talk about silence. So the concept is, once Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi told, silence is not refraining from talking, but it's refraining from the intention to talk. That means we should not have any intention to talk, but sometimes we have to talk. Physical stopping of talking is not silence, but mental stopping of the intention to talk is silence. So now, actually, today, many of my friends from various parts, they have asked me some different questions. They are like this: we are getting thoughts while meditating. I am unable to concentrate on anything because of continuity of thoughts. That means my thoughts are not stopping. What to do and how to control my thoughts, like this. And even some old people have wrote to me that we are continuously thinking how to stop these thoughts. So let me come back to the replies. First of all, I reiterate here that what I am saying is not my own, but I have borrowed only from Vedas. These are not the ideas that have come out of my mind or something, that I just took from Vedas and I am saying. So let me come back like this. So to know or to stop your thoughts, please concentrate. To know or to stop your thoughts, it's just impossible to stop. The thing is, now your eyes are wide open. Can you stop seeing? Your ears are open, your ears are listening. Can you stop listening to something? So every organ of the body has got its own functions. The same way, the mind too has got its own function. The function of the mind is to just get the information from five senses. Five sense organs are there: the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, that means for tasting, and the skin. Getting information, storing, and using it whenever written. And then again, there are some basing on your buddhi, basing on your different characteristics. It uses the information on its own. So this is the function of the mind. So how can you stop your mind from thinking when you are aware? It's impossible. But there is a chance that, see, I think all of you have heard about Gnana Yoga. In fact, Vedas itself means Gnana. The Gnana Yoga says who you are. That means what your mind is, what your body is. Now I want you to know what your mind is. Only if you know what your mind is, then there is all possibility to stop your thoughts. Now let's try to know what our mind is. Whereas our body is physical, mind is not a physical thing, right? Can we see the mind? But this physical existence depends on the mind. So mind actually contemplates like this. Everybody is made up of three types of character. We call it gunas. They are sattva, rajas, and tamoguna, tamas. Just imagine or think of yourself, which of these fields you fit it right. Just analyze it. It may help you in your future. The thing is, let's take tamas. What is tamas? You might have seen a lot of people wandering with dull, that means with laziness. The tamas is the dull mind. The thing is, you should remember one thing: every one of us are made up of all these three characters. Sometimes we may be tamasic, sometimes we may be rajasic, and sometimes sattvic. Okay, tamasic means tamas is a dull mind. Here the mind is dull, it's sluggish, lazy, and it's prone to depression. You are right. Because when someone is lazy, the depression automatically comes, and it experiences fear. The experience of a tamasic mind is fear. One who is sleeping lazily at home, he might have a lot of fear. Don't just imagine that he's enjoying his life. He's sleeping because of fear. Okay. So, but the thing is, tamas allows us to rest. While we sleep at night, because of tamasic activity, we sleep. And some people sleep more and some people sleep less. The people who sleep less and who are happy, not who are sad, who are happy, so they have less tamasic in them. So the just characteristics I just repeat here: laziness, anger, too much of attachment towards people or things, anything, depression, dependency, yeah, these people are dependent naturally, self-doubt, they don't have confidence in themselves, guilt, boredom, irritation, addiction, apathy, confusion, grief and ignorance. These are the characters. And what causes a tamasic mind? See, if you are eating these kinds of food, then I can say you are tamasic to a little extent. The things are one, eating heavy meals, that means they don't stop till the food is full up to the neck. They don't stop. Heavy meals, foods of chemically treated foods, and processed or refined foods. If the people like this or eating this continuously, there is every chance they may become dull, they may have self-doubt and they are not happy. All this comes naturally. And these foods, they actually create some negative effect on our body and mind. It's natural. So imagine a same situation. When a tamasic sees, he sees it differently. When a rajasic sees, he sees it differently. And when a sattvic sees, he contemplates it differently. Okay. Now after tamasic, let's go to rajasic. And just remember, nothing of these characters are bad. They are required in some or the other parts of life. If we are not tamasic, we will never sleep. And that's again bad for our health, right? We should sleep a little extent. And the second is rajas. Rajas is an extroverted mind. That means these people, they just search everything for outside. So there again their characters are to some extent it's anger, anxiety, frustration, aggression and boredom. And these are the common things. But the thing is, rajasic nature is the great motivator to achieve things in the world. If you want to achieve something, you should have this rajasic nature. The achievers generally have this rajasic nature. And the experience of rajasic nature is desire. Because they have desire, they have this nature. See, rajasic is also responsible for binding you to the results of your action. It's true. So if one becomes a king, he should have this rajasic nature, Raja. They should have a rajasic nature. But the anger, anxiety, fear, irritation, worry, restlessness, stress, courage and chaos, all this comes along with rajasic. But the thing is, these are people different from tamasic. See, these people, when tamasic people eat preserved food and cold foods or stagnant foods, while these rajasic people, they want hot food and they want spicy food, all these things. They are active, but at the same time they are restless. This quality is required to protect the nation. The soldiers and the king should be of this character. And let us come to the final one, the sattvic. What is this sattvic? Sattvic is a calm mind. Their mind is calm. And the thing is, mind is present. You just go and scold them, they will not retort. The thing is, it is not that they want to, they don't want to retort, but they don't want to fight. They want their time to spend more usefully in the presence of good people or with the thoughts of divine or something. So its experience, this experience of sattvic mind is truth. Yeah, they can realize the truth. But sattvic mind is itself not everything. And what happens is, once you have a sattvic mind, it allows proper discrimination. That means they can discriminate between what is truth and what is not. See, some things in the universe are permanent, and some things are not permanent. Which are not permanent is everything in the universe. Which is permanent is the energy or the soul behind it. That is the only truth. And sattvic people can discriminate, and naturally they give importance to the things that doesn't perish, that always exist. But the thing is, they are mentally strong, they respect the teachers, they are non-violent, kindness, self-control, and meditative. Whatever a difficulty comes, they just stand. I will tell you one example. During our childhood days, one sant or one sadhu, he just taught us it's very easy. You see God in everyone, in each one, in human beings, animals, God, and everything, in the God, in the masjid, in the church, or in the stone, everything. You see God because everything is God created. You just see God in everything. Then what happens after some days, and even the priest says the same thing. He says, love your neighbor. That means when you start loving your neighbor, okay, after some days, the neighbor may go away, some other neighbor may come, again you have to love your neighbor. That means in the process of time, he may cease to be your neighbor or you may cease to be his neighbor. But still you will have a neighbor, right? At least if not human beings, some plants and animals, anything. Once you love your neighbors, you try to love your neighbors, slowly the habit of love becomes permanent. Neighbor changes, but the habit of loving becomes your nature. That is called sattvic. That's what Jesus wants to say. Okay. Now, when you keep on loving that means when you keep on getting these good thoughts, when you keep on seeing God in human beings, at one stage, at one point of time, you will try to see God in yourself. Then you finally realize that you are also the product of God. When this happens, universe just disappears and only God appears. You negate the universe, you negate the things of God, and just you can realize the God himself. This is what Upanishads say, or this is what Vedas say, and this is what the mind is required to get itself prepared in such a way to lead a sattvic life, and from there on to go towards non-duality. What is non-duality then? Recognizing that you and God are one and there is no separate thing in this universe. Because when I use a mobile or certain thing, I know its manufacturer, right? I know the manufacturer of mobile. So finally I could say that each and every product of the mobile belongs to that same manufacturer. Right? The same thing. Each and every person, an animal, a plant, a stone, everything belongs to same God, and they are all products of God. How can I say that they don't differ? They are different from the God. Everything is same. But only thing is, if we are all in the thing called God, and God may not be complete in us because we still have some different things, we have to imbibe them. What Vedas say further is, you are not this body. You are not this body, or you are not this mind. The body and mind has been given to you. And the mind is nothing but, they call it subtle body, because we cannot see the mind, right? And mind is the cause of your birth, because you have so many desires and you have so many aspirations, you have certain feelings and beliefs, so you are born. And slowly, when you go ahead, try to drop your mind. That means when you know that it is not yours, it is not you. I just say an example. A man recognizes the other as a woman because of his ego. Ego means here, what we call it, ahankara. Not the English word ego. Ahankara means knowing myself as I know. I can see that okay, I am working for certain institution, or I am a father, I am a husband, I am a son, like this. I am identifying it with something, and the thing is slowly I have to stop this getting identified, because that's not the truth. After some days, the whom you said you are the son of those, they may not be there. So nothing is permanent. So identifying this and reducing your ahankar, that means my I am not this, I am not. Neti neti they call it. So once you choose to the reality that I am the product of God Himself, then slowly, if you can understand what the mind is, slowly you will lose your thoughts. Once you lose your thoughts, once you lose your identity, then slowly what all is stored in you slowly starts trying get disappeared. It disappears slowly. It doesn't go slowly so easily. It requires so much of practice, sadhana we call it. But once you get it, slowly everything disappears. And when everything disappears from you, you get one with the God. Shivoham.